Kincannon and Reed, we focus a lot on diversity and trying to bring diverse talent to our searches. And we encourage our clients, and I have to say, clients are on different paths in relation to diversity, but I'm interested to get some feedback from you, some understanding and insight to creating greater diversity, and how do you encourage your teams and your HR departments and your line managers to create a greater diversity in their workplace?
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point. I mean, greater diversity brings better debate, allows, better conversations to take place in a boardroom, and also for better outcomes to be obtained. And that's just not me speaking as a female. It's actually, supported by data. So diversity is also not just gender diversity, it's actually diversity of thought. So it's actually far broader, and it encompasses, different ethnicities, different religions, different genders, just different beliefs and different backgrounds. So I certainly encourage across the boards that I work in that we do need to make sure that we aren't all white Anglo-Saxons sitting at the table, that we actually have people who bring that different thinking, who bring the challenge and who make us feel uncomfortable. Because it's by actually making us feel uncomfortable that we actually have better rigor and better debate and better discussion. So in terms of the tips for the recruiting team, I ask them to not recruit in their own image. And let's face it, it's very easy to be attracted to someone who is in our own image, who believes the way that we do and who says the right things in our, from our perspective. But it's actually having those people that make us a little uncomfortable, that ask a question in a slightly different way, that makes a better organisation.
Yeah.
I also feel that we shouldn't be just recruiting from outside. I also think we need to get the balance right where we're actually growing the next level of talent. And I think we can complement that with recruitment from outside. But first and foremost, we also need to be looking internally about how do we develop our leaders so that we have that right balance of people coming in to challenge us, but also people from in can move up and be promoted into key roles.
And within Kincannon and Reed, we've done a bit of work around unconscious bias. And I'm not going to say concerned, but it's really challenging to be able to get diversity and encourage people to bring diversity if people don't have an understanding that they bring their own bias to any selection. Have you any thoughts about how you can encourage people to, it creates a level of self-awareness if you know that you've got potentially some unconscious bias. How do you deal with that?
I think the best way to deal with that is to actually train the board and have a session where you do talk about what unconscious bias is and have a very open and authentic conversation about what it is as a board we're going to look for and how we're going to behave and how we're going to make sure that we actually are bringing on people that we're, comfortable that they challenge. Because as I mentioned before, it's by the challenge that you get to a better place. And through challenge, you actually have those more rigorous conversations.